You are live. Good morning, America. I hope you have a nice, strong cup of coffee this morning to wake you up. I drink out of an Army cup because I served in the Army, even though my son's in the Air Force. And my youngest son is intending on following him. Good for them. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Michael Cook, coming to you live from Central Missouri. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day here. I hope it is where you are. Please comment, like, and share my videos if you like the content on it. If you comment, let me know that you're there. Let me know where you're at. Let me know what the weather's like. Let me know your opinion. And let me know if you don't like me. I don't care. Just comment on there. If you don't comment, I can't see that you're there. But I do appreciate everybody jumping on. Morning, Dave. How are you? I'll try to say hi to you. If I get going, I'll start missing some people. But let me know what you're thinking, where you're at. It is, morning, Scott, 7:55 a.m. on 10/22/2020, the year the conspiracy theory became the truth. Ain't that the truth? And we are 12 days. Hey, Chris, how's it going? 12 days from the election. Tonight is the debate, the third debate, which is really the second debate because they canceled the second debate to have the third debate. Morning, Eric. And they're going to have this debate. You see, many moons ago, back after the Reagan administration, they developed this commission on elections to be bipartisan and fair. Do y'all remember back when Obama was president, they would have these slanted, one-sided debates against, John McCain and all that, Mitt Romney. And we would complain about it, and the talking heads on TV said, don't worry about it. Obama's president. It's no big deal. When we're president, we'll get to pick the debates and how they're moderated. Not working out, is it? I think that one of the things that this president, Donald J. Trump, when he wins this next election with 300+ electoral college votes and 2 million+ popular vote, when he wins, he should do away with this commission, and that the candidates and their campaigns in the next presidential cycle should work it out themselves. That's what I think. We don't need a non-partisan commission, which, according to Bob Dole, has nobody. They are all Trump haters on this commission, all Biden supporters. I'm going to get to, I commented on here. I want y'all to be aware of what my agenda is today. I asked a question. I said, what does Joe Biden, John Kerry, and Whitey Bulger have in common? I asked that on my Facebook page, and there's been a long discussion with several people on what they have in common, with comments like they're a bunch of liberal jackwagons, or they're all in big government, or they're all a bunch of corrupt criminals, which is, those are all probably accurate, true statements. But I want to cover the debate first, and we'll get to that in a minute, because that's not what they have in common, at least not what I'm referring to. In the debate, they're going to talk about, the third debate is usually about foreign policy. That's been the standard. That's the way they've always done it. They've had 1-2 debates, and then the third debate's about foreign policy. And well, they decided to dump the foreign policy. Also, they're going to mute the president's mic. I'm sure they're going to mute John Kerry. I digress. Joe Biden's mic also. I mean, they're only to be fair. Hey, Courtney, how are you doing today? And these are the subjects that the debate's going to be about. Fighting Corona-19 or COVID-19, the Chinese flu, whatever you want to call it. Didn't we already discuss that in the debate? I mean, what more is there to talk about? Here's my question from, if I was moderator, Joe Biden, what would you do differently that the president hasn't already done? You say that you would do some things, but the president has done most of those. What would you do differently in thinking back, not on 2020 vision, but in the moment? when you were calling the president a xenophobe for banning travel from China, when you were saying the president didn't know what he was doing when he started shutting things down, and when he was moving the boats and all the stuff that he did, and he was Mr. Vice President, what would you do differently? That would be my question. The next topic will be American families. I don't even know what that's such a American families. Mr. Joe Biden, why you plan on taxing the hell out of them? I don't have another question than that. Race in America. I'm 49 years old. 1989, I graduated from Antelope Valley High School in Lancaster, California. Joined the Army thereafter. I grew up in a community that was mixed as mixed could be. My school was mixed as mixed could be. We had all races, nationality, creeds, colors. Didn't matter. And for the most part, we all got along. I didn't know what racism was till I was in the Army. And I've never seen it like it is today. And this is because, Joe Biden, of your former boss. Mr. Joe Biden, will you condemn Antifa and Black Lives Matter as the terrorist Marxist organizations they are? That's my question to that one. They're going to discuss climate change because communism. Because climate change is communism. The Green New Deal, which Joe Biden's in favor of, because in order to get the alt-left of his party, the Angela Costa-Cortez, the Ilhan Omars, the Bernie Sanders, who wants to tax the billionaires, used to be the millionaires and the billionaires, but now that he's a millionaire, he don't want to tax them anymore. In order to get them, he had to jump onto their, how shall we say, communist New Deal, where he wants to destroy all energy in this country for the sake of a bogus climate change argument that, is going to affect us 100 years from now. In 1989, global climate change, but they called it global warming back then, was going to affect us 100 years from now. It's always 100 years from now, so that everybody who's here now is dead. So, right? No one knows. National security. Well, all the way down near the bottom of the list, so hopefully they don't get there because they don't want to talk about national security. Because in national security, the big question will be, if I was Donald J. Trump, I would say, Mr. Joe Biden, how come you're getting money through your son and other family members from our foreign adversaries, such as Russia and China? That would be my question. Because in a minute, when I answer the question of what does Joe Biden, John Kerry, and Whitey Bulger have in common, you'll see what I'm talking about. And leadership. This one's an important one to me. I need a sip of coffee for this one. Mr. Vice President, when Barack Obama, savior of the universe, Nobel Peace Prize winner, decided to send in SEAL Team 6 and take out Osama bin Laden, which there may be some conspiracy to that, but that's a whole different issue. You is reported to be in the room, to be the only dissenting voice that said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Is that a leader? Mr. Vice President, on the night of Benghazi, when the president was not to be found, when the Secretary of State wouldn't answer the phone calls, where were you? Who gave the stand-down order? What did you know and when did you know it when 4 Americans died, including the ambassador to Libya, which is an act of war? And on that note, Mr. Vice President, were you involved with the conspiracy to send Stinger missiles from Libya to the Middle East that were, and the same Stinger missiles that were used to take out a Chinook helicopter full of the SEAL Team 6 members that took out Osama bin Laden? Were you part of that cover-up? Speaking of leadership, I mean, I just want to know. And the moderator of the debate is named Kristen Walker, NBC News. You may recognize her, and you may be thinking back in my head as you watch the debate, my boy, she looks familiar. Where have I seen her before? I'll tell you what you do. You go to YouTube and you look up any number of White House press conferences. You look about 3 rows back, about 2 seats over, and there she'll be. She's the MSNBC White House correspondent, and she's one of the most vile, nastiest reporters in the room. As the press secretary, even the president himself, she can't resist doing the Karen move and pulling her mask down like this, Mr. President. That's the one. That's who's going to be the nonpartisan, non-biased moderator. So it's going to be another shit show tonight, brought to you by NBC. So, the moment you all been waiting for, I'd do a drum roll, but I don't have my drum set here. I do play the drums at Katy Park Baptist Church, and you're more than welcome to come. It's a great church. 9:30 and 10:30 services. Think you'd enjoy it. That's a side note. What does Joe Biden, John Kerry, and Whitey Bulger have in common? Do you know who Joe Biden is? Yes, you do. Former president of the United States of America, or former vice president of the United States of America. Want to be president of the United States. 3-time want to be failed candidate for president of the United States. About to be 4-time. John Kerry, who served in Vietnam. Former candidate for president of the United States. Former secretary of the United States. Former senator. John Kerry, married into the Heinz ketchup family. That's how he made his wealth. He married into it. John Kerry, who threw his medals over to, oh, wait a second, they weren't his medals. He kept his medals. He threw someone else's medals over the White House fence in the 60s to protest the Vietnam War, which he served in. John Kerry. Who's Whitey Bulger? Y'all ever heard of him? Does that name ring a bell? You know, he's not a politician, so to speak. He's probably bought off a few politicians, I imagine. Whitey Bulger is a mob boss of the 90s who was busted by Rudy Giuliani, turned state evidence, and squealed on all the other rat bastards in the mob, and then found himself to be suicided in prison. So what do these men have in common? Well, I'll tell you. According to Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, and other investigative journals, and Rudy Giuliani, is where I got this information. The New York Post, several other places have this information. It's kind of have to put it together. Several different stories on this, and you can look it up. It's out there. Whitey Bulger has a son, and I cannot remember his name. And I tried looking it up. I couldn't find it, but it doesn't matter. He has a son. John Kerry has a son. His name's Chris Hines, stepson. And we all know the infamous Hunter Biden and his accolades. Shortly after Hunter Biden flew on Air Force 2 over to China with his father while he was vice president, Whitey Bulger's son, John Kerry's son, and Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, formed a corporation, a venture capitalist corporation, with 3 Chinese Communist Party nationals. That's right, I said it, Chinese. The Chinese communists funded this venture capitalist firm with over $1 billion. That's right, billion with a B. That's a lot of money. A few years later, after never doing any venture capitalism, the company went defunct, filed for bankruptcy, and ceased to exist and dissolved. Mr. Joe Biden, since we're on foreign affairs and we're talking about national security, where'd that money go? Awfully quiet in here. The Chinese gentlemen who were involved in this organization, one is dead, ended up floating in the river in China. One is in prison in the United States of America for espionage. The other is wanted for, is on the run and wanted for espionage. They are Chinese spies. They're Chinese communist parties. One is a colonel in the Chinese army. What a quinkydink. I'm sure that had nothing to do to influence foreign policy, which Joe Biden was the point man on in China. So Joe Biden's son, John Kerry's son, and Whitey Bulger son formed a company with Chinese people for over $1 billion. And if you take a look at the emails that are breaking, the stories that are breaking right now, Hunter Biden talks about how 10 to 50% of the money that comes in from these deals has to go to the big guy, to Pop, to numero uno, to the one who made it happen. So if I was in the debate, which I won't ever be, but if I was, I would say to Vice President, how much money did you get? I'd like to know. His excuse here this week has been, it's not in my tax returns. Well, no shit. You mean to tell me that any self-respecting criminal would put their criminal operations in their tax returns? I mean, oh, I got this money from the Red Chinese. Let me pay taxes on it. Duh. Of course it's not in your tax returns. Your tax returns are squeaky clean. There's nothing fraudulent in those because, let me tell you, I said this in my video yesterday. Joe Biden is not the most corrupt person in Washington, D.C. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Leon Panetta. Oh, there's a bunch of them that are way more corrupt. The Bushes. That's right, I said it. John McCain, God bless his soul. They're all in cahoots. But Joe Biden is not the most corrupt. He's just the dumbest and got caught big time. Riding that gravy train. So while you guys are stewing on that, I'm going to go get me another cup of coffee because I'm out. I appreciate y'all jumping on. Thank you for watching. Please share this video. Trust me, there's people right now that did not know that need to know that because it's time to vote. And remember, vote early and vote often. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Please go out and vote. Vote, vote, vote. It doesn't matter. Just vote. And vote for Trump as if your life depends on it. Because it does. Your choice is clear. Your choice is between a communist Marxist government, a completion of the coup that's been going on for the last 4 years, and a republic, a democratically elected small government republic. The choice is clear. Go out and vote. Vote early and vote often. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. You guys have a great day. I'll catch y'all later.